Hello Gnomes, my name is Chance, welcome to my Spellbook, and thank you so much for tuning into the second episode of our Gnome subrace series. Today we're going to be going over the Forest Gnome, which is found in the good old Player's Handbook, and honestly, I'm a pretty big fan of them for the most part. Gnomes are a weird race because I haven't seen them played a whole lot. Personally, I don't think I've ever played a gnome outside of maybe a one-shot here and there, and even then I'm not 100% certain about that. In any case, the Forest Gnome has a couple cool abilities, features, and traits that might make it worth taking. Before we dive into those traits, however, I ask that you please check out the full playlist for the gnome, just so you understand exactly what's going on. You can do so by clicking on that little eye icon up at the top there, and then selecting it from the drop-down menu, or instead wait until the end of the video and then click on the relevant end card. In any case, let's now move on to the Forest Gnome's traits. First and foremost, they'll gain a +1 bonus to dexterity. They'll also gain Natural Illusionist. You know the minor illusion cantrip. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for it. Minor illusion is arguably one of the more useful cantrips in 5e. It is outshadowed by a couple here and there depending on how you use them, but that being said, it's still a perfectly viable choice and adds a ton of potential opportunities for your character. They'll also gain Speak with Small Beasts. This feature in particular is a huge blessing in my opinion. Through sound and gestures, you can communicate simple ideas with small or smaller beasts. There is a little bit of flavor text attached to this in the Player's Handbook that reads, "Forest gnomes love animals and often keep squirrels, badgers, rabbits, moles, woodpeckers, and other creatures as beloved pets." This is really cool because not only is there the mechanical benefit of being able to communicate with these animals, at least in simple terms, but you also have a nasty habit of your race collecting them as pets. Maybe not a nasty habit, but a habit nonetheless. You can use this to execute certain plans, gather informations, or even use your animal companions to perhaps gain advantage on certain charisma checks, namely persuasion and intimidation, as their cute little puppy dog eyes or their fearful rabious teeth bar at people. I think that'd be pretty neat, and just a creative way to use these creatures in general. I don't feel like you'd be able to have them be active in combat, at least not without certain class features to justify that. However, in small amounts, I could see them being useful to you. Now let's move on to my personal thoughts about the Forest Gnome. I actually think they're pretty good for what they are. In terms of viable playstyles or class combinations, I think they'd make a very cool twist on the arcane trickster. Instead of being a edgelord, dark and mysterious form of rogue, you can instead be one that just is really just a badass lorax. You speak for the trees and all that stuff. I think that'd be pretty cool. Alternatively, you could of course become more caster focused, becoming just a wizard, taking advantage of that +2 that the gnomes get, and then being a little bit more dexterous as well, maybe even making yourself more of a front line wizard that uses something like Shadow Blade or Booming Blade or Green Flame Blade or what have you in the front lines, and kind of uses dexterity to nimbly jump around. Something like that would be pretty fun, or even as a ranger taking advantage of that dexterity and that speak with small beasts already. There's a lot of cool ways you could go about using the Forest Gnome. That being said, let me know what you think down beneath in the comments section. Be sure to mention any thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns you have about the Forest Gnome, and any cool stories or character ideas you have as well. That being said, if you'd like to get access to a free one-shot, feel free to check out the Guild Hall and use code WELCOME to get access to yours. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and of course, happy adventuring.